What's up guys, Sheldon back with another review, and today we are finally looking at the Super Action Statue Spice Girl from Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, Golden Wind or Vento Arreo. This is the very last figure in the Part 5 figures, so that's cool. And then we'll move into Stone Ocean next. Alright, let's take a look at the box really quickly though. So we have the Harlequin pattern as usual. And then we have this nice pink gradient here, so some of the poses you can put her in. And then here you go, you have some of the accessories that she comes with, which we'll take a look at a little sooner. You see that it comes with the notorious B.I.G. right here. Then you have just some box art right here. Let me just give you a good view, box window. And then you have more box art. Alright, cool, let's take a look at the accessories. Okay, here's just a quick visual of all the stuff that she comes with. She also comes with a display stand and an instruction manual, which is right over here, which, it shows you the articulation of the figure itself, but that thing is not too important. But you can see over here it's pretty nice, it's illustrated. Okay, let's take a closer look at these hands though. Alright, so Spice Girl comes with a pair of fists. She also comes with a pair of relaxed hands over here. She also comes with a pair of these jazz hands, which are actually my favorite for this figure. They look pretty nice. And she also comes with a pair of these gripping hands. So you see that they're actually kind of angled off a bit, so you can't hold them like straight across, but they do the job. And the same for both sides. This side is a little looser from mine for some reason. And just a note, I guess it's her left hand, has a bit of a defect, so if I could turn this around, if I get this to focus though. But you see that there's like some space between the index finger and the thumb. Mine, I think, looks like it has like a paint glob or something like that. Maybe it's too close, but I can't focus. But you see that it's not separated there. So I think that's just variation from figure to figure. Okay, and of course you do get the pipe itself, which I'll zoom out and let you guys see a little bit, but it's really not much. It's just a silver pipe, I guess, and I think it's when she's using it to stave off notorious B.I.G., which we'll take a look at right now. So it's a pretty cool accessory, and I'm actually surprised they included something like this, considering that Spice Girl is not like a super popular stand, but it is, I suppose, a plot significant enemy stand, so it's really nice that they did it. And actually it's done fairly well for such a small accessory. These bumps here are sculpted really well, and the paint finish is nice. It's nice and matte here, and it contrasts with this blue and silver glossy, kind of like a metallic design, which is nice. It is articulated as well. The tail is on this ball hinge, or ball peg, I should say, so it's cool. You can move it around. I don't think there's any wire in the tail, so it is soft plastic. And then the arms here can rotate. Yeah, they do rotate. But this one, it's frozen for me, and it's soft plastic, so I don't want to like move it because it's gonna bend, and then if you bend it too much, it like tends to rip. So be careful. And it does have a little peg hole down here. I'm not quite sure what it's for. I don't remember, but I think it's to put the pipe in there so you can get him like poked down onto it. Which I'll show you at the pictures at the end to kind of pose in there. So that's Notorious B.I.G. Pretty cool. And then finally we have the alternate screaming face here, which can hopefully get the focus. So I have to admit, when I first got Spice Girl, what I tend to do actually is I pose my figures, like I find a good pose, and then I like put them on my shelf or in my case, and then don't touch them. So I only handled like the Trish and Spice Girl figures just a little bit, found a good pose. But after doing this review, I'm really digging this Spice Girl figure. It's just I've never noticed how clean these lines on the face are. They're like done really well, and they're really sharp. And there is shading. I think it's showing up as white, but you can see like the pink is showing up here, so it's this nice pearlescent pink. And I really, really like it actually. It's just the nicest, sorry, the eyes are really nice, and you can see that there's like the thin black line around the eyes. And it's done really well, and these lines on the face look really clean. So yeah, I do like it. Okay, well that pretty much does it for the accessories. Let's take a look at Spice Girl herself. Okay, so Spice Girl stands about, let's see, about 15.5 centimeters, which comes out to, let me see here, about 6 inches. So actually some pretty decent height despite the slender build. But here she is next to Trish, her user, and so you see it's she's slightly taller as normal stands here. I think just about as thin. So here she is next to Trish. And for fun, let's take a look at a comparison next to some other figures so you know how well it scales. So here she is next to Figma Link. There you go. Here she is next to Figma Link, since I know most people collect Figma as well, so you know how well it scales. So here he is, pretty shocked here. So yeah, about at the shoulder. So let me move him then. And then here they are next to, I guess, SH Figuarts Ant-Man. So you see that, like, SH Figuarts, it's a little bulkier, but in terms of height, and he has his legs apart though, it's fairly close. And then here she is next to Star Platinum. I figured this is a pretty popular character that a pretty good number of you might have, so you might know how big this is. So here she is next to Star Platinum. So you can see Star Platinum, pretty bulky here and pretty tall. And then here she is next to Sticky Fingers, more in line with the scale of the characters. So you see more slender, closer in height, but a little taller still. And then for something different, here she is next to Mythic Legion's Sir Galaron. So that's another thing I collect too. It's a different line, but yeah, he's like way bigger. He's like 7 inches. So a pretty slim figure overall. Okay, cool. Let's see here. So let's talk about the paint and sculpt then, in general appearance. So overall, I do like it, and it's actually a fairly simple design. Let me get this to focus again. Cool. I guess I'll zoom in here. Great. So yeah, overall, I do like it. I think this is well, if Trish was the very first Super Action statue female, this is the first Super Action statue, like, stand female. And overall, it's not bad. I think it improves on a lot of stuff that Trish had problems with. And I think it might be because of design for a stand, doesn't require, like as accurate anatomy and whatnot. But overall, it's decent. So in terms of sculpt, it's pretty simple, though. Most of the body is kind of like this simple, pearlescent, kind of ivory texture. So it's cool, it's nice and smooth. And then the body, you can see that it is sculpted here, by the way. It's got this pattern, the stripe pattern here. And then right here, it's soft plastic, so it doesn't get in the way. But if you do pose it and you hold it too long, the plastic will kind of like get stuck there, and it slowly comes back down. But overall, it's nice. So let's talk about the articulation, though. So pretty standard. Rotation here, it's on that hinged ball joint right here. So here it is looking up. It does get in the way, though. You can see that the stand design, the back does come down. And then here it is looking forward, just using the hinge. So actually not bad. And then the neck, single ball joint here. So you do get rotation, and then when combined, you actually get really good down. And then going up is okay, actually, not that great. And then the neck itself can rotate, but the sculpt does hinder. Something to note here, the sculpt of the neck, you can see it's like a little to the right. And mine, you want to be careful too, not just mine, but like on your figures, be careful that you don't rub the paint off. Mine has a little bit of paint rubbing off here. You probably can't tell, but there's like a piece of gold right there that you might be able to see. Okay, and then for the shoulders though, it's similar to Trish's, and well, we'll just take a look. Okay, so for articulation, you have about 45 degrees, and this has got to be the most disappointing part of this figure. Because I can tell the articulation is there, it's just the sculpt that's hindering it. So that's kind of annoying. You do get the full rotation though, it is there. It's a little less easy, but you can see it's just that ball hinge, so it's technically there. It's a little bit hard sometimes, but it is there. And then you do get a bicep. I don't know if you count that as a swivel, but it's pegged into the bicep, so you can swivel it here. So yeah, I gotta say the shoulder articulation, not the best to begin with, but the elbow articulation is good again, which is really nice. And then it's pegged into the bicep and the forearm, so you can rotate at the elbow and actually at the forearm. And in fact, it's really common to rotate at the forearm, at least personally, because, and I'll show you in a second here, the wrist hinge over here, again, pretty standard. It's like that ball hinge. I'll get that to focus, hopefully. Okay, it might be out of focus, but you can tell what hinge it is. But the wrist articulation, depending on which way you use or which way you go, it's gonna like determine the articulation. So you see the sculpt comes out a little further up here, and so you can go not that far like that, but really far down like that. And so what you can do is rotate it at the forearm to get her to do these different poses. So that's actually very nice. That's kind of cool. And then for the ab, you have a ball joint over here and a ball joint down at the waist. So pretty straightforward here. So you get good rotation side to side. And then in terms of actually rotating, let me see how far you can go. So about that far, not that much actually, that far. So here it is going forward. Here it is going back. It's okay. And then for the waist rotation, you do get a little side to side. Again, the sculpt is going to hinder it a little bit. And then here it is going forward. Here it is going back. And here it is with both of them here. So not bad. Here it is going forward. Is okay. Not that great. And then for the hips, it's actually similar to Trish. And you can see it a little better here, though. Let me just make sure the lights aren't so bright. They're like blowing out the color, though. Let me just move my light away. Okay. So for the hips over here, you see it's just that straightforward ball joint over here, so no thigh rotation, which is a drag. So it kind of sucks, but again, it's the first super action statue. I'll give it a bit of leeway here. In fact, let me just turn off my lamp so it's not just like blinding you guys. It's like way too bright. Let me see here. Let's see. Okay, I think this one might be a little bit better. Cool. So yeah, no thigh rotation, which is a bummer. But here it is going forward, which is okay. Comes up, does a kick, and then again, like I said, these things are soft. Here it is going out though, so actually it's okay. You get about 90, and then going back, it is soft, but the butt sculpt is going to hinder. So you pretty much you can't do any back at all. And then it does swivel at the knee, I believe. It technically does, but again, the knee pad does get in the way. So there's not that much knee rotation. And then for the actual knee joint, it's actually not as far as I was expecting. It feels like it technically should be able to go farther, but I think it's, again, thanks to the sculpt, that's as far as it goes. Okay, now it feels a little too dark. Let me put some light on here. It's just during the day and it's kind of sunny, so gotta figure out the right balance. Okay, and then for the ankles here, really not that much, so about this far down, which is actually not bad considering, and then only that much forward, so basically none. And then the toe hinge, it's different from the regular figures, but it is pretty tight, so it's kind of nice. And then for the ankle rocker, I think it technically is there. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so it actually is pretty good, despite it like not looking like it would work. So the ankle articulation is actually not that bad, but as you can see, the feet are just like, they're very thin and like they're tall, so balancing can be an issue sometimes. But overall, actually not bad in terms of articulation. Better than Trish, I'll say that. So overall impressions, I gotta say, upon my like review and second kind of like handling with the figure, I like it better than I did before. And it's mostly because I really like how sharp the face sculpt is, and how easy it actually is to pose her. That's kind of something that I really consider about the figure. Like, there are figures that I really like, and there's figures that have really good range of motion, but then when I go to pose them, it's like a real pain. But I feel like I'd never had any trouble posing Spice Girl, which is something that made me like her more. I mean, I couldn't get her in as many poses as I wanted, but yeah, that's something to consider. So overall, I think it's actually a pretty decent figure. It's not a popular character, so you might be able to find her at like a lower price. So if you're a fan of Spice Girl, yeah, pick it up. It's actually not that bad. And if you're gonna get Trish, you might as well get Spice Girl. And then if you're not a fan of Jojo, I would say it's a decent pickup. If you're gonna look for a female stand figure, Stone Free is probably the best one. In fact, Stone Free is like one of the best figures, period, which I'll review soon. But I would say for something that's not super expensive and easy to find, this is actually a pretty good start. Okay, well, that pretty much does it for this review, though. If you enjoyed, feel free to give me a thumbs up. and hit that subscribe for more. I'm going to put this figure in some poses for you guys at the end. But yeah, thanks all for watching.